Hello, this is Slim Overton, and how's everybody doing? Just wanted to pop up here and talk a little bit, just briefly, about voting. And it's a lot of talk about voting. You hear us talk about the importance of voting. Excuse me. The importance of voting on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. You hear me talking about the importance of voting on the Slim Nation. And you hear everybody in general talking about the importance of voting. And we look at it as sort of what disappointing when we see the elections pass and the voting percentage in locally is so low. And it's like it's constant. And you would think in that low percentage, well, not you would think, but in that low percentage, it's mostly the same people that are voting each time, that are dedicated and been dedicated to making sure that they vote every time an election comes up, and making sure they make a conscious effort to be educated on the people that are running. So that's fine. We're always going to have those people that show up and show out when it comes to voting and promoting candidates, helping candidates. But we have to appeal to those people that are not getting out there and give them a reason. And I know a lot of you will say I talk my head off to my neighbors or certain people in the barbershops and trying to convince them, and they have an argument that they think is a good argument for not voting, but they always complain about what's going on policy-wise. And it's because of the people that are there, that are making those policies, they disagree with, but they had nothing one way or another about them being there. So I guess we have to make that appeal, and I think one of the things that's going on now, and whether it's true or not, we get a lot of people talking about already saying that the Democrats are going to lose in the midterms, are not going to fare well across the nation and locally, statewide. And we're already planting that negative thought in those people that's already not voting in their heads. And then we're trying to convince them that they need to vote. But on the other hand, we're saying if you don't vote, this is going to happen. Well, we're almost saying, a lot of us are actually saying it's a lost cause already. And that's not going to help. Even if you feel that way, that's not going to help if you're trying. And I'm not going to say that you don't have the right to say that, but don't be saying that and out one side of your mouth and the other side trying to get people to vote if you're not giving them any kind of hope or any kind of reason, legitimate reason to get out there and vote. You're just, spurring the negative. And we have to control the narrative, because there are forces out here that are constantly beating us with the lies and things, and presenting themselves one way and thinking and doing another thing. So we have to control the narrative. If we want to make sure we want to get our people out to vote and get those percentages up, people out there to vote. If those percentages are high and people that we think should win don't win, I mean, what can we say? The majority of the people have spoken. But when we have people in office and only 20% up to 40% of the people have voted, that live in a locality, that live in a state, that live in a country, have voted, I mean, what does that say about that system, that democratic system that we have, that we talk about so much, that it's the greatest, and we don't even take advantage of it and use it? So let's try to give the reasons, whether it be your personal reasons or what you think might be common sense reasons. My thing is always to the people or potential voters is to make sure you educate yourself on the issues, on the people that are running, and then you make up your own mind. I truly believe there are some people that's going to vote one way or another, regardless of the history of the person, regardless of his platform, because they either like him or they like what he stands for. If he's following Trump or if he's following Biden, they're going just for that. But I just insist that people, if you're going to vote, just make sure you're educated about the people that you're putting in there, that you're educated about the people that are already there, that's running for re-election. Their record is there for you. Sometimes when people running for the first time, you have to take a chance. You have to take their word, or you can. Some of those people you still can look back at their past action, because most of the time those people that come up and running, they have a history of community service or community work, or some kind of trail that you can follow back and see and get an idea, what type of person that person would be in leadership. So let's just take our time and start paying attention early, especially the people that are declaring early. You're going to get some people that's going to slip in there right at the time when the deadline is for you to officially be on the ballot. But even then, you have about 3 months to really study those candidates. But if you get a jump on it, if you can get a jump on it, that's good too, because you can study that person and watch their movements and get an opportunity to see them in a lot of different situations, in a lot of different places, and you can really see how consistent their platform is from the time that they say they're running up until the time it's time to vote for them. If it stays the same and it's something you believe in, of course, that's the time. That's the person you might want in there. And I understand it's going to be tough in some situations. It always bothers me about, and I truly believe everybody has the right to run. But when you have so many people running, and it makes the choices so hard sometimes, especially when one of those people is your cousin or your neighbor or something like that. But sometimes you have to put that aside and really vet the people and make sure that this person will represent your interests or the interests of the community as a whole. But you want to look for somebody that has values that are close to yours, that has a platform that is it might not be ideal for you, but it falls in line with most of the things that you're looking for out of a leader. So let's make sure that we take our time and vote and try to convince those people. I know a lot of times when we talk on the social media, a lot of the people that watch or would sit down or would take time to watch this whole video are already conscious of what needs to be done. And there goes the term, preaching to the choir. But we have to preach to the choir as well, and hope that they will preach to 10 other people, especially those who might feel like I was talking about earlier. They're not going to vote. Their vote is not going to count, or the Democrats are going to lose anyway. So why would I even take the time to vote? And those are the people we need to convince. Those are the people we need to reach. Those people that don't have social media, that don't pay attention to social media, or if they are, they're watching the wrong, getting the wrong message from the wrong people. So let's take our time. It's still, well, I was going to say it's still early, but no, it's getting, once the summer gets here, in August, that's the start of the political season. That's when it gets hot. And that's when you want to know a little bit more before you get bombarded with all the signs that are around. You get people that are telling you that they're the best, and there's so much that it's hard to really focus in on all the candidates like you want to. But it's not impossible. It's just a matter of dedicating yourself to being educated and making sure when you go to those polls, you feel comfortable what you're doing, and you don't have to worry about it 3 months later that you made a big mistake, or 2 years later that you made a mistake that you cannot take back, unless that person really does something that can cause official actions by the citizens. And that doesn't happen too often, but it can happen. But anyway, let's take our time. Let's don't throw out all the negative, just negative. I know a lot of times the negative is the truth, but we have to add, along with the negativity, some positive things that we have to look forward to. And the most positive things I can think of is, the next generation, our children, the people coming behind us. What are we doing to make sure that those coming behind us will be secure in their lives, will be, maybe we can once again not suppress the racism that we're seeing. I'm sort of changing a little bit, but not only suppress the racism that we've been seeing over the years, that's kind of resurfacing now. Nobody's suppressing anything now. The times we thought that we had gotten beyond racism, and we're noticing now, it was just suppressed. People just weren't talking about it. It wasn't a subject we wanted to talk about. Everybody was nice. And now we're seeing some of those same people that we thought were over that, not afraid to come out and speak their truth. It's always a theory. Once one theory is out there long enough, and they've said it long enough to work itself in the minds of people where they believe that their theory, critical race theory, and can't even define it, but they believe it. Now we're getting the replacement theory that's being hammered and hammered. Of course, after this last shooting, those people are acting like they don't know what the replacement theory is, and it's evidence, video evidence of them pushing it. But I digress. That's for another day, another topic. But I'll end now. I just wanted to say this is the time, and I know you heard this over and over again, but this is the time to really think about, if you're not one of those people that participate in voting, something that you hear all the time, that there were some people that died for us as black people to be able to do. Think twice about that. So if you want to feel comfortable about going to the polls, make sure you do your homework. And more likely than none, you will feel more comfortable about going to the polls and voting for someone that you have really vetted and really feel comfortable that when they get there, they're going to do what they said they're going to do. Because everybody has a track record up to this point when they decide to run. We just don't always, we take what they say for face value and don't always do our homework and check back and see some things. Sometimes it may reveal some things that you say, okay, I thought that person was all right, but how they felt back then, they haven't walked away from that officially. So, but anyway, I continue on. But goodbye, and thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And let's have a conversation about that. Let's make sure that we talk to everybody as often as we can and express why you vote, why it's important for you to vote, and maybe someone might see that, and we can get those percentages up. And like I said, if those percentages are high and the people we want don't get in, what can we say? The majority of the people have spoken. Take care. This is Slim Overton saying so long and see you next time.